A very good morning and welcome to New Day here on Signature Television. My name is Godwin Sunday. We're broadcasting live from Nigeria's political capital, Abuja. A lot of things to be grateful for. First is for life. Other things is for health, and other things can follow. But more especially, we are grateful for the week and also for the International Day for the Girl's Child, that have been able to surmount all the pressures put to them across walks of life. But then this morning we have a guest that we'll be talking to in the presence of Honorable Lugard Okonubo or Samodiame, and they'll be talking to us about the journey of the girl child. Now, surprised why a man will want to talk about that or a woman so much, but then let me even tell you that he is the DG of Int'L project, and that is Nigerian Women Academic Development, and he has been at the forefront of advocating for women even across Nigeria. He has been at different conferences, different seminars, speaking for the rights of women. But let me not bore you with a lot of information on who my guest is. Let me unveil who my guest is rather this morning. And Mr. Lugard, you're welcome to Signature Mode. You're welcome to New Day on Signature TV.
Thank you. Good morning. And it's my pleasure to be here with you.
All right. So let's even do some form of clarification before we start talking about the International Day for the Girl's Child. First thing on my list: how many girls International Girls Day or celebration of Women's Day do we have in the world? Because this thing becomes reoccurring every day. We hear that you wish sometimes your wife wakes you up in the morning and tell you, babe, you didn't wish me a happy Women's Day, you didn't wish me a happy Mother's Day, you didn't wish me a happy International Girls Day. How many do we celebrate in a year?
Well, I love the question because the United Nations recognize a lot of days of observance. We call it the International Days of Observance. Every March 8 is termed the International Women's Day, and we have the Mother's Day, and we have the Day of the African Child, and we also have the International Day of the Girl Child. Every October 11th is termed the International Day of the Girl Child. So globally, the world today is celebrating the girl child because every girl child today is a potential woman tomorrow.
So literally, you're saying that even as we've extended the conversation right now to even to the weekend, you're saying there is no particular day to celebrate women every day. But how come Father's Day? I'm speaking on behalf of the fathers right now. Father's Day appear to be just once in a month or once in a year. We just hear it casually, Happy Father's Day to all the fathers out there. Is this not being partial?
Well, it's not being partial. It's, you see, different conversation leads to these days. And if it will surprise you to note that there's a day called the International Day of Rural Women every October 15th. And you also ask yourself, are there no men in the rural areas? Why don't we have International Day of Rural Men? And again, we also have International Widows Day. So, and widows we know relates to women. Don't we have widowers? So, all these put together are based on conversation, discussions, and issues and circumstances that surrounds this particular gender group, and decisions are reached at that top level, and that leads to where we now have such days. So I may not be in the right position to now say this is why it is this like this, but one thing I know, that there are detailed conversations, statistics, information, research, and all that are put together for which decisions are now reached, agreed by the over 190 member states of the United Nations to say, oh, it's now time we need to have something like this. Because most of the times, having that day gives us the impetus to be able to take decisions to see how we reduce the negative impact that affects such individuals. But I would want to say, in support of your own position, the men should cry out so that we should now begin to have.
No. Look at even talking about the men crying out. Look at, I'm worried at this point because you are a man. First, yes. I thought that you'll be speaking for us, but then when you get to meet the minister of Women Affairs, the person of Uju Kennedy, you always speak in support of the women, and you've always stood your ground for women advocacy. At this point, I should be talking to you, not the men.
Oh.
That you should be helping us to do that advocacy, because I think we need it for the men.
Well, it will interest you to note that I'm one of the he for she's. And we have the he for she platform. These are he's that are supporting the she's to be able to achieve and become who God has destined them to be. That will be a long conversation for us, but as time will permit us, as we continue, we'll begin to discuss why all these acronyms and phenomena and all that is ongoing.
All right, so let's even begin the conversation. But first, talking about the girl child, what circumstance has led us to this point where we are right now, talking about the girl child?
Globally, you will find out that the girl child goes through a lot. Now, if you look at the peculiarity of Nigeria, we've had instances where today a very wealthy man, even a serving senator, is going looking for a young girl of 13, 12, 11 years to marry. That alone is a subject for discussion. Why that? Why is it happening? Why should it continue? Can't we put a stop? Why must this continue? If such a person who knows that at certain age of this is supposed to be in school, and you are not taking such person for marriage, does he have the mental faculty to be able to manage a newborn baby? Does he have the capacity to be a wife? Not just because he's a female, but being a wife, having the ability to take care of the children, to cook, to provide, and all that. These are all the entities that it all encompasses. So that, for us, brings a concern. Then you have the issue of circumcisions. Then you also have the issue of beliefs, traditional beliefs. I know of a certain portion of Nigeria, a part of Nigeria, that believes that when the woman puts to bed a girl child, you don't see the celebration. You know what I'm talking about? But if it's a male child, first of all, I have a friend who did that. The wife gave birth to a male child. Before we know, they brought goats. We never even heard that he has even given. In short, as we were getting the news that he gave birth to a male child, they were already slaughtering a goat. Bottles were ringing here and there. Why? A male child has been born. That alone has its own psychological effect on the society. And you have that same set of people who believes that when you give birth to a girl child, you are wasting your money on investment on a girl child. Mm. So these are beliefs, these are norms, these are age-long traditions that certain parts of Nigeria believes. And so when you now have the International Day of the Girl Child, that tells you that it provides a forum for us to discuss it. Like as I'm discussing here, the Federal Minister of Women Affairs is doing something, the FCT Women Affairs Secretariat is doing something. I'm aware that the Honorable Minister of State is vacating his seat today for a young girl, a girl child, to sit and assume
I think they've done that yesterday already.
Yeah, okay.
They've done that the previous day before now.
Yeah, so you could see everybody is coming up with different things. People are doing some artwork, some are doing things regarding girls' participation in leadership. All this is to drum support and create more awareness on the conversation that every girl child today is a potential woman tomorrow. And it is the women that will give birth, even though the man needs to contribute his own part to give birth to a newborn baby. You notice that the women will do the cooking, they will do the house chores, will do other things. The women, don't forget, the same classroom you go to is the same classroom. When I was being taught physics in the class, they didn't say, oh, because you are a female, this S plus Y will give you a different figure from the teaching given to a male child. We all write the same exam. We go for the same WAEC. We go for the same JAM. Then how come at certain points when you come out, oh, you are limited? That aside, you also see that today a young girl is looking for a job. Some men will say, oh, you must give something to get something. And now you now look at the men. Well, maybe of recent you begin to hear of gay and all these things coming about. But you find out that in our society today, what the female folks, the girl child passes through, I mean, we all are aware. These are things that are before our very eyes. So this alone has led to this conversation. And that is why globally today, discussions are ongoing. If you go on the social media today, go online, you find out that the issue of the girl child conversation is taking the lead. And that alone is enough, one of the ways to push so that men and women will begin to see the reason why they need to take care of the girl child.
Mr. Lugard, looking at the girl's child in general, I'm tempted to ask at this point, what constitutes the girl's child in terms of age bracket? Is it between the age of 1 to 2 or 3 to 4? So that we can have, so we can know if you can distinguish between a teenage girl, an actual girl, a matured girl, a married girl, and so what constitutes the age bracket for a girl child?
Well, the age bracket runs between from 1 down to 14. Though we have different nomenclatures to read, because today the Federal Ministry of Youth is saying that youth starts from 15 years. And so the girl child bracket runs between 1 to 14. In some instances, they tell you it's 1 to 18. Then the youth age runs from 18 upward. So the girl child runs between 1 down to 12, 13, 14. That's the age bracket.
All right, so speaking of that age bracket, we understand that a lot of girls within this framework literally are a bit wiser than their male folks. Yeah, I remember when I was within that age bracket, I wasn't this intelligent. But the female folks within that bracket, they know what they want to achieve. But then, why is that so in general?
Well, you can understand that we are now in a jet age. And at the jet age, everything moves so swift, fast, at a very high speed. We have the millennia. We have the Gen Zs now. The Gen Zs wants sharp, sharp. And so you see, the way the Gen Zs want things to be is what you are also seeing, that the level of inquisitiveness has increased. And don't forget, technology has made a lot of things so fast. The things that on a normal day you would have learned by having youth folks gather in the evening, like those days when we were in the village, towards 4 o'clock, they will gather us on that tree and they will be giving us some traditions and be giving us some proverbs. Those are things you can get online today. So the digital age has made things so swift. The things that even your mom wants to tell you, you're already checking it on phone. So we've gone to an age whereby parents are discussing, the children are taking notes, and before you know, they're already on their phone, they're already checking. Online, you get a lot of information. And you see, these informations, the way they are applied now tells the effect on the society. So you see those applications being executed by these Gen Zs, and especially, let me narrow down to the girl child today, has made a lot of things so awkward. I can understand the direction you are going. So also on the good side, because you can see that a lot of young girls today can now use tech to drive a lot of things. I mean, a lot of young girls are doing. I've met a young girl who said, I said, what do you do? He said, I do digital marketing. He didn't say market, he said digital marketing. I said, how do you do it? He said, I have my phone, I go to shops, I do all the pictures, videos. Beautiful. And before you know, some persons will call her, I want this thing, I love this thing, I saw on your status. And from where she is, she will call a dispatch rider. They will credit her, she will credit the dispatch rider. Dispatch rider will pick from the shop that she has already, the stock, ordered for, and deliver. And she's making her money. So she's using technology in the right way. Meanwhile, on that same technology, some are using it to do hookup. Some are using it to do things that before you know, like the one you saw in Zone 5, that was almost sellotaped. They sellotaped her mouth. The guy sellotaped her mouth to use her for ritual. We're aware of that case. I think that was just last month or last 2 months. And you ask the guy, how did you get in touch with this young man? He said, online. So the same online that some are using to improve their life for good, some are using it to destroy themselves. And she went further to say it was on a dating site. So the same way you have dating sites, so the choice is yours. And that's one of the things I think we should begin to push here. For us at Nigeria Project, for the girls' side, what we are pushing, girls to have good leadership skills, build their capacity to participate in politics so that they can be able to influence the political space. Some of these things we are discussing today, some needs to go through legislation. And then you now talk about governance.
All right, so let's even look at the issues around the female genital mutilation. This has been at the forefront of when they talk about females issues in Nigeria. It has been at the forefront of these conversations generally. But then, before we started evolving as a people, we had a culture where the girl child must go through certain rituals to be transformed into womanhood.
Yeah.
So, as a girl child advocate, what has changed in this process of the ritual to the total and the general advocacy for the abolition of female genital mutilation, especially in Africa?
You see, I would say, my brother, yeah, that something is ongoing does not make it a perfect acceptance. So what you have seen that, oh, in tradition it was like that, does not mean that because it was existing, we should take it hook, line, and sinker and believe that it's a perfect thing that will continue. You will agree with me, at a time we're using typewriter. But between me and you today, if somebody gives you a job, you say, why will you will be the one to query it. Why will you be using typewriter even though it's a brand new? Can't you use your laptop to get it done fast? And people are even thinking of, can't you use AI? You know, so just like the other day I was in a program and somebody was saying, you can use ChatGPT to get this thing done. That's a young girl saying, oh, this is what you can use. I gave a copper an assignment and he was just saying, oh, before you know, she has already provided. I knew. I said, you can't just get this result now. He says, sir, you know, with the tech now, with tech, you can get this thing done, and I mean, so fast. So what I'm saying is that female genital mutilation, as it is, why they clamor to stop it? That's the first thing. We noticed a lot of these things are done unprofessional. A lot, the young girl go through a lot of pains, though there is a belief that, oh, if you don't do this, you will not get sexually well satisfied, you will not be whatever and all that. All those are beliefs and assumptions. But again, because it's not being done right, there's a move and a campaign against female genital mutilation. And if you look the word mutilation, it means that it's not rightly done. So
it's not that the policy is it's barbaric with Africa, or it's not like it's the foreign dominance on African girls' child.
Well, Africa took it to be like a tradition, but there's a clamor right now that such should get out of it. And because you look at the tools that are used, you look at the environment where it's done, you look at the pain that the young lady goes through, you look at the aftermath effect. So all this put together, and that's why the clamor to stop female genital mutilation.
Even if it has, but then one will be tempted to ask, even as we talk about the future and the vision of the future of the girl child. Yeah. This has become like a recurring phenomenon,
yes,
and a common decimal factor, even in raising a girl's child from time immemorial within the African space. Why now?
Why now? Well, Africa has its belief system. And as I can tell you, even though I would say the white man in quotes is pushing for this, it's still occurring. Let's not forget the fact that it's not occurring. We still have circumcision going on, irrespective of all the the grammar, the videographic work, the campaign, the write-ups that have been done. Even as education even increases, as people get enlightened, the issue of female genital mutilation is still on. But it's just that I can say that it's on the reducing path, because traditions into it, a lot of people are getting closer to Christianity, religion, and as such, people are not believing that, oh, there are some spiritual orchestrations and things that follows that. So the conversation is on, but don't forget that does not mean that it has come to a full stop. So while conversation continue, people still want to. There are even people who are even learned, intelligent, educated, professors, and say, no, you must still do it. So it's a mixture of what I would say, the good, the bad, the ugly, still ongoing.
All right. Let's look at the conversations around the girl child and talking about our future. One would say that the girl child is not ripe enough to talk about having a future from the age of 12. But then you have been at the forefront of the advocacy for the girl child. At what point should a girl child start talking about having a future?
Yeah. We don't wait for the future to come before discussing the future.
All right.
I told someone last 2 years, I said, a girl child of 13 years in 2022, by 2027, yeah, a girl child of 13 years by 2027, as at 20, will be 18 years old. So if by 2023, when we did the 2023 general election, she is already 14, by 2027, she will be 18 years old. And that means she has a voting right. Now, let me take you down. A girl of 14 years, by calculation right now, you see that 12, 13, 14 is already in JS1, JS2, JS3. Sometimes you even see a 14 years old girl already writing WAHEC. So that means that if we don't plan there, we'll have an issue in leadership. I don't know whether you get my point. Now look at it. At age 13 is in JS3, going to SS1. By the time he's in the secondary school and primary, he's already either become class prefect, assistant class prefect, labor prefect, one prefect or the other. By the time they get into the university system at age 15, which is by 2024 that we are now, what you notice is that most of the girls, oh, they don't want to be class rep. If they bring, no, I don't want to do it. I don't want to do. And guess what? They go through that process. By the time they are 18, they're already moving into the NYSC. And then they now have voting rights. What we have seen in the National Assembly is why I'm giving you this analysis. Because if you don't understand it from the perspective of how age grew and you don't prepare yourself for the future, then when the future comes, you receive the aftermath negative effect. And that's what we have seen at the moment in the National Assembly. So we've seen a situation where the number of women in the National Assembly has reduced from 38, where it was in 1999, it has dropped to just 16. We have just 16, both the House of Rep. Imagine the whole Senate, 109. Only 3 females. Yeah. And I can tell you there are some state House of Assembly, there's no female. And you ask, why am I that analogy? It is preparation. When preparation meets opportunities, then you see success. So we have more women who are not able to take leadership positions, especially in our governance and political system, because they have not been prepared for the future. A girl in like what we are proposing is, when you get to year 1, why not be a class rep? When you get to year 2, contest for departmental. When you get to year 3, contest for faculty. By the time you are getting to year 4, your 400 level, you can go for SUG or you go for NANS. And I can tell you, even if that girl child is failing year 1, year 2, year 3, the experience she has got, you can take it from her. That has helped to prepare her mind psychologically, mentally, even with contact. She now knows the strategy to be able to contest for an election and win. And don't look at it. Even if you don't get elective position when you graduate, either by the time you want to contest for a councillor, like now, Kogi State is going for election. If you don't get elected, you can get appointive position. Because over time, as you grow in age and you contest for one position or the other, it helps to build your capacity. You have the strategy, you have the know-how, you have contact, you now know the language to speak. There's a language of politics, there's a language of leadership. Even in governance, there's a language you use. Even in the media space, there's a language. So all those processes are things that are learned while the girl child grows. So that helps to prepare the girl child for the future. So future, from our conversation today, as you see, he said the girl's vision for the future. What is vision? Is your ability to see beyond the normal. So what we are pushing for today, let the girls, is for us to advocate so that the girl's child will have a vision to see into the future. And when you see what the future holds, if you don't take the right decision today, what do? You start preparing yourself. So it is not out of place to begin to talk about the future of the girl child now. Because whether we like it or not, tomorrow, the girl child will get into the future.
But then, I know the girl child will get into the future, but that this narrative, again, that talks about the fact that there's a lot of sentiments that is tied to the girl's child and the development of the girl child. First is the issue of environment, the issue of circumstances, and the issue of culture. It differs. So let me bring this to you as a girl child advocate and also women advocates. Does the vision and future of the girl's child orientation, does it differ in terms of circumstances, environment, culture? Because I'm asking this question to ask, can the girl in the rural community far inside the interior part of Nigeria, let me not call a geopolitical zone right now, can we say that that girl child can be able to attain certain height as it stands right now, even while she's attending or trying to see the future from her end?
Yes, I will tell you that a lot of organizations are working seriously, coming up with different programs and projects. We have religious institutions, we have community-based organizations, CBOs, we have faith-based organizations like Form 1, Federation of Muslim Women, we have the Catholic Women Organization, CW, we have so many groups within the religion group. We have those NGOs, non-governmental organizations that are coming up with different programs, all geared towards addressing the question you just asked. They are not just in the city, some are also in the urban, semi-urban, semi-rural, and some are even far, far, far in the deep rural area. Today we have a lot of organizations that are pushing on the girl child education. Why the girl child must go to school. The girl child should not be seen as just someone that when you marry tomorrow you just cook and begin to be like a child factory producing children. But the girl child can actually go to school and be of positive impact to the society. So organizations are doing what they can to ensure that even the girl in the remotest part of Nigeria gets empowered. Some time ago, we launched a project called GEEP, G4EP. G4EP means Girls Education, Engagement, Empowerment, Entrepreneurship, and employability. Because these were the things that we looked at. We need to have constant engagement. So the girl child in the rural area is being engaged through different forums. And then we also look at empowerment. How do you empower them? When you empower a girl child today, he will be able to see how to deploy resources. And being that he has that woman gene in her, she will be able to know how to manage and plan for herself. Then we also have employability, teaching them soft skills so that they can be employable, not until when they have to do hookup that before they can get job. Because some already have that mindset. If you not do hookup, you not get job. If you not do this kind of thing. So we need to also teach them soft skills, like the girl I told you that use digital skills. So that's that. Then you also talked about entrepreneurship, teaching them to be enterprising. Entrepreneurship is not just I go buy, I sell. How to manage your business. When someone give you 50 naira, how do you add money to it to become 2,000 naira? And you put, how do you increase your income? How do you do other businesses? So these are the things, entrepreneurship.
But then, look at, we don't see these things. Is it that it exists in the oblivion? It exists as a spiritual engagement? Because these things are things like we don't get to see. So that's why I'm curious.
Okay.
Is the orientation and narrative of the girl-child development, does it differ?
The engagement is there. But I would say that because of the complexity of or will I say the enormous, because of the complexity of the effects on the girl child, then automatically it's like what people are contributing is not really translating. So in that way, you can think, and let me use the word, it seems to be audio. Let me use that word. It seems to be audio. Maybe I need to help you to use that word audio. It seems like audio. That's why it says spiritual. Because when spiritual are things that you don't see.
Perhaps. The oblivion.
Yes.
That's the abstract.
It looks abstract. It will come down to a lesser language, abstract. But the fact remains that a lot of organizations are doing what they can. And that cannot be achieved without the government. Government will always tell you they are putting policy. But I think, let me use this opportunity to clamor that we need to move from policy to projects to programs in line with framework, international framework and international conventions that Nigeria is a treaty of, so that we do it the way it is done in other countries. How were countries like Uganda, Kenya, they were able to achieve more women. They've moved from just a percentage. You know, we are still in the level of percentage, 35% affirmative action. They've moved from percentage to parity. What is parity? 50-50. So Nigeria is still yet to even grapple with 35% affirmative action, either in offices, in job placement, in workplace, in appointed position, in elective position. We are yet to even get there. And even when it is even done, the political will to effect the things that needed to be done are not there. Like as I said, there are state House of Assembly today that there's no woman in the House of Assembly. And you now ask me, who is the Chairman's Committee on Women Affairs? A man. And you ask, the build-up of a man is totally different from the build-up of a woman. So, for sake of time, let me not diverge more.
Maybe they consult women in order to take policies and decisions that affect the women. I can't say on this table as it stands right now. But we'll go for this short break, and when we come back, we'll be talking about disciplinary measures, even as we talk about the girl's child. What are the disciplinary measures being put in place to ensure and to guarantee that the girl's child right is being protected out there? Stay with us as a New Day continues in a moment. Welcome back, and just in case you just joined us, this is still New Day on Signature TV. My name is Godwin Sunday, and I'm talking with Lugard Okomubo Samodiame, who has been helping us put the girl's child issue in perspective. And just in case you're wondering why is a man talking about a woman, and he has told us that he is a he for she, and he stands for the girls' rights and women advocacy, which he has been at the forefront across the world and across Nigeria. But then let's come back to talk about this thing, Lugard. I know you've talked about women and you've advocated for women, but then the issues around disciplinary measures bit put in place to sanction people that violate the girl's
That's
child
right.
rights has become like an elusive conversation. We don't get to see that conversation being discussed in the open. Is there something that we need to know about why the girl's right violation, violation of the girl's child rights is not being discussed in the open? Is it something like, is it secrecy or sacred?
Yeah, it's not sacred, it's not secretive, but you see, we are in a society where we have a different build-up. If he's a man now, the man can say anything can happen. And generally speaking, when it comes to having shame on if something happens, or let me use the word, it may look very crude. When you see a naked man and a naked woman, the naked woman is more ashamed than the man. That's it. But again, when it comes to issues looks how will I put it? That looks more negative in the society, like issues of rape, issues of sexual abuse. The way the society treats it can actually make the female, the girl child, to run into herself. I don't know whether you get what I'm saying. Yeah. We've seen cases where a girl child is being interviewed at the police station. How did you know? How did he touch you? Wait, what did he do? You are just framing. Even when you see clear cases that the right of this girl is being violated, you can see traces of sexual abuse and all that. So, and the society norms believes when somebody say happen like this, the trauma the person will go through, the person feel they will come put her for public domain. That this is that girl that thing happened to her, and all that. Sam, that's it. So all this sometimes even makes the parents of the girls to try to withdraw because they just feel that they can't withstand the trauma, they can't withstand the shame, they pointing fingers here and there, and they don't want to see it being repeatedly discussed. You are in the media space. When something like that happens, this media will come, that media will come, and everybody start discussing the issue from different perspectives. And one topic can have different directions, can even have up to 10 different interpretations. And so the parents will not want to see themselves going through that. Why they are going through the trauma, they are going through questionings and all that. And so, but that's not to say that the government in itself is not pushing for that. But one thing I will say here, if there is one minister who has been very radical on the issue of the girl child, when you touch a girl child that will react, is Barrister Uju Kennedy, the Honorable Minister of Women Affairs. She takes that so dear to her heart, maybe because she's a lawyer, or will I say a charitable activist, but the fact remains that she's right at the forefront on any issues that want to affect the girl child. She doesn't play with it. She doesn't play with it. And I think that's a step in the right direction. But I will also advise in why she decided to take decisive action. She should also be very diplomatic and be able to get the full narrative of what may have transpired or whatever happened, so that you do the right thing using the right approach so you can get the right result.
Now that you've even mentioned the Honorable Minister of Women Affairs, let's even talk about the issues around the economic policy of the government. These has become a very burning issue and a very burning conversation, from the fuel hike down to electricity tariff. Don't you think at this point this can affect the girl's child from even having a future or even having a vision for a future?
My brother Godwin, the thing is affecting everybody. Let me speak pidgin here. Nobody will know the effect. Yeah, I have 4 sisters, and I can tell you, I am on a platform where as low as sanitary pad, women every month, especially the girl child, they have their period every month. Sanitary pad, go and check the cost in the market. It's almost raising towards 3,000 naira for a sanitary pad. So when you see a family that has maybe 3 girls and they need to use sanitary pad every month, that means that the man is spending almost 6,500, 7,000 naira every month of sanitary pad. That excludes the hairdo. Because it's the space I work, I had cost of interest. I asked my PA the other day, I said, what happened? He said, oh God, we know if you do it again, or the thing don't do it when they want to import, the dollar exchange rate and all that. Now plat with the plat, now just carry something hand put. So what is happening is not just affecting the girl child, but I will say here that it's affecting them a lot. Why? Because you see that from our research, if it takes you 1 naira to take care of a male child in the higher institution, it will take you ×3 to take care of a girl child. A boy can wear 1 G's for 3 days, but the girl child, build up and system does not demand that. Female and the girl child are designed to always change. A guy can just stay somewhere and just wee, but for the women, it's not like that. And so what they passes through because of their build-up mechanism, you find out that the current economic is really telling on them. I must tell you the sincere truth.
All right. So then again, what should the conversation now be in terms of the girl's child development right now in Nigeria? Because a lot of persons are curious out there, want to know what should the narrative now be for the girl's child? Is there hope for the girl's child to have a vision and have a future in Nigeria, or they should start looking elsewhere?
There is hope, but I will advise. The future for the girl child in Nigeria should transcend beyond the federal government. At the state level, I must tell you, my brother, we are having little results at the state level. And I want to use this opportunity to say it here. What we need to do is to have a governance system that works at the state level. Nigeria has 36 governors and the FCT minister, plus Mr. President. Most of the times what we say is Mr. President, Mr. President, Mr. President. We should also begin to look at our governors. Today, the monies that they are collecting from the federation account has increased. We should ask our governors, they should be accountable. Our governors should be accountable. So if we want the future of the girl child in Nigeria, we shouldn't just look at the federal government level. We should also look at the state government. We should look at the local government level. You will agree with me that governance is almost totally eroded at the local government level. So even as little as reusable sanitary pad that you can teach people in the local government level, you see that some local government chairman does not even have the money, because they are puppets and just PAs and but
the federal government has given them full autonomy right now.
Yes, but you see that even the state government are fighting it.
A few state governors.
Yes,
right?
A few state governors are fighting it. And then you now also look, even when we begin to push, when the president was even still pushing for House of Assembly autonomy, some House of Assembly speakers came to Abuja in the National Assembly rejecting that they don't want to get autonomy because they were handpicked by the governor. In short, there were rumors then, I would say, that some speakers in the National Assembly, they were in the National Assembly, and they were getting calls from their governors telling them that if you sign that you want autonomy as you are getting to the state, you will be impeached. And so when you have such a situation, what happens? The governors have now become emperor. So I want to use this opportunity to push that if we truly want the future of the girl child to be envisioned for what is expected, we have to task our state governors so that governance begin to work at the state government level and also at the local government level. Then, what we are discussing here will have its ripple effect at the grassroots, just like what you asked me, that it looks abstract. It will look abstract because why federal people at the top are doing, by the time it's getting to the ground, is very, very few impact is going to touch. But if the grassroots, the local government is doing, the state government is doing, and the federal is doing, then you see the ripple effect of this our conversation.
But look at, again, a lot of people have said that the challenge is not with the federal government, neither is it with the state, not the local government, not with the tiers of government, as it were, but rather with the girls. That the average Nigerian child does not think outside the box. But then you have communicated and interactions with. I won't agree that. No, you have had interactions with most of these girls. So let's even hear your defense on this.
I won't agree with you.
All right, please enlighten us on this.
It's not there. Let me tell you this. I've seen situations where people are giving 50,000 naira and say empowerment. What will 50,000 naira do? Yes, there are some business you can do with 50,000 naira. If you are selling granite today with 20,000 naira, you can put granite and go and sell. But the fact remains that will everyone sell granite? Some want to do hairdressing. If you want to do hairdressing, then you need a shop. Yes, if you want to do hair plating, you can move from place to place and go and plait. So there are some businesses that you can actually do with little stipends. But there are some that definitely you need a structure. Even the rentage alone will consume that amount of money before you buy your equipment. And so it's not just the girl's child. No, we need to have a system that works. We need to have credit facility. We need to have power. Power is also one thing that also affects business. Like, you run on gen, you know what you spend. So even when you have been trained and you have the skill and you have the equipment, the issue of power. So we have challenges cutting across different areas. The girl child has been trained. She has been empowered, but now there is something that she needs to battle with. That's the issue of power. Where there is no lie, and you have to go and buy fuel at a higher cost, and you want to transfer that cost to the customers, and the customers are not forthcoming, what happens? So we have a whole myriad of problems. So it's like a situation, I think I will give you an analogy of what happened some time ago. That a serving senator who wants to go back for another term bought Okada for people, and the people said no, they don't want the Okada. Okay, go and do the road. You give them Okada before your term expires, and they will be buying parts to take care of the Okada.
All right.
So that's the situation.
Before we let you go, let's even hear from you. What is Int'L even doing in regards to empowering women at this point in time, in supporting the girl child out there?
Yeah, 3 things we do, which is our core objective, is providing access to finance, providing facilities, and providing facilitation. The 3 F's. The first F is finance. Finance is core. Whether you want to run politics, you want to do business, you want to do supply, you want to do anything at all you want to do. Even the Bible itself says, it says money answereth all things. And I want to say, whether you are doing good, you are doing bad, or you want to do good, or you want to do bad, you need money. So money is core. And so at Int'L, we push for every access for finance so that the girl child and the women will have access to finance through different strategies. Time will not permit us to begin to discuss that. But secondly, we also look at facilities, because we see facility takes almost 40% of business operating costs. You may have 5 staff somewhere, but the cost of running the structure, the office, can take almost ×5 of what you are paying your staff. And as such, if you don't have that funds, how do you survive? So what we do is look at how we can help to provide facilities so that their cost of doing business will reduce and they remain competitive. And they cannot be able to sustainably drive their business. Then facilitation. In our local terms, we say long leg. Sometimes you need a long leg. You need somebody. A young girl was doing a program and he needs media to come and cover. And she said she doesn't have money for media. I have to call somebody who called somebody and the media came. That's one part of facilitation. So we look for ways where we can facilitate to support.
Look at the way you speak for women. If we allow you to stay on this show today, we know you won't want to go.
Yeah.
Because when it has to do with women, I think we should root for you to be the next
Honorable Minister of Women Affairs.
I want to say thank you so much for finding time to be with us today on the show.
And I thank you for that prayer. And I hope that one day the vision of the girl child will see that Lugard will become the Honorable Minister of Women Affairs.
I would say amen to that. When you get to that position,
We've had several men.
remember Signature TV when you get to that
Yes.
point. Well, this is how far we can go today on New Day here on Signature TV. I want to say thank you so much for being with us. My name is Godwin Sunday. Do enjoy the rest of your day.